Hello everybody, I am Dustin.
And I'm V from That Adventure Life.
And we are on to hike number 2 at Kodachrome Basin State Park
in Utah. We did the Angel's Palace Trail. That one is beautiful. If you haven't done it or have seen it, click on the top right corner. We'll have the link to the video. But right now we're doing the Panorama.
Panorama.
I can never say that word.
We can't pronounce anything here for some reason, but the Panorama Trail.
Yeah, this one's 6 miles. Is supposedly beautiful, so we're gonna. It's a long way, and we're slow, so we're gonna get going so we can get back before dark.
Yeah, hopefully. Wish us luck.
Much like the Angel's Palace Trail, or any hike in the winter for that matter, spikes will make your life a lot easier on this trail. As you'll see over the course of the video, there are some hills on this trail and some of them can get pretty steep at times. Without our trusty spikes, I'm not sure that we would have been able to claw our way up to the top. These spikes don't have to be anything fancy, and we picked up a couple sets on Amazon for right around 20 bucks each. One of the things that we really enjoyed about the Panorama Trail is that it's not just a hike to a single destination. Along the way, there are lots of different rock formations and caves to look at, like the Fred Flintstone Spire that you see right here. All of the melting snow had made the trail really muddy, and we did our best to walk on the snow rather than the mud as much as we possibly could. Around 3/10 of a mile into the trail, we came to our first junction.
Okay, so we're at the split for the loop. If you go right, you're going to go to the Indian caves, I believe, and the Ballerina Spires. And then this one, I mean, you're all gonna go in the same thing, but if you go right, you're gonna see stuff earlier rather than go left. So we're gonna go right so we can see stuff more stuff first. All right, we're going right. It's very, very muddy. These mud sunk in, like in. Look how I'm active my shoes.
We hit several more trail junctions and we went right at the vast majority of them. But don't worry, because we will tell you the ones that we went left at. Much like the Angel's Palace Trail, a lot of this hike was really well marked, and it would be pretty difficult to get lost, but it's always a great idea to run a tracker like Strava, or in our case, our Garmin InReach. I was pretty surprised to see that all trails mark this trail as easy. While it's not difficult by any means, there are some steep hills that you need to climb up, and there are a couple small streams that you need to jump over along the way. When you mix that with the distance, I think that we would actually give it a little bit more of a moderate rating. And here we are at our first official stop of the hike, which is Indian Cave.
We're at our first viewpoint, Indian Cave. It's a little small cave. It's pretty cool. It's a cave.
It's a cave.
One interesting thing is that there's a bunch of what look like handprints on the wall. The little handprints on the wall. We think these are petroglyph. We haven't done any research on this one yet. So if we go home and take a look at this, I think Dustin can do a voiceover and tell you what it is. If not, you can always comment below. Let us know what they are.
I hope that this has some historical type of significance and it's not just like a bunch of tourists just coming through here and just like clawing at the rock. Either way, we will not be contributing to these markings, so...
Although, there are some dumbasses carving their initials on the wall, so don't do it.
Yeah.
So,
if you are
adventurers, if you are viewers, please don't carve on any rocks that you see in nature or trees. It's very painful for us to see that.
Yeah, sucks.
Right, we're off on to the next one.
There we go.
From the Indian Cave, we will be making a right once again at the fork to head off to the next viewpoint, which is the Ballerina Spire.
One thing that we always try to help do in our videos is educate people on how to do hikes safely. And that includes bringing snacks, because you don't want anyone getting hangry along the way. So be sure you bring some snacks, keep your energy up.
Here's one of those stream crossings that I was talking about earlier. Luckily, when we went, there was not enough water in them to get our feet wet, but I'm sure once the snow starts melting, you're gonna have to make a pretty good hop to get over it.
Okay, so this is our second viewpoint, I guess. It's called the Ballerina Spire. It's kind of, I guess it looks like the point toes of a ballerina. Does that remind you of that?
Yeah, I can definitely look at it and see how someone could see that.
It looks really interesting. It's pretty cool.
From there, the trail continued on and wrapped around to the backside of the Ballerina Spire.
The Ballerina Spire is way more obvious from the front side rather than the back side. From the back side, it just kind of looks like a stump. So, good job on whoever named it. They must have seen it from the other side.
We've always been curious about who gets the job to name these rock formations and how the heck do they come up with some of these names. It must be someone with quite an imagination, because some of them are a little bit of a stretch.
The next stop along the way is called the Hat Shop, and I'm not exactly sure why. If you know, comments below. But my best guess is that if you look up at these hoodoos up here, they all have these little tiny caps on them, and I'm assuming those are the hats. So
It looks like there used to be more hats, because if you look up, it looked like the hats are falling off the hoodoos.
we may have lost a hat or two over time.
It's more than a couple. It's probably...
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of kind of rubble up there. So
like probably 5-10 hats up there.
Aw, may have lost some hats.
So it looked like the hat shop is closed for business.
If you are traveling with your four-legged friend, you will be very happy to hear that they are allowed on this trail. They must, however, be on a leash the entire time, and please be sure to clean up after them. Speaking of cleaning up, we were pretty happy to see that this park was pretty much immaculate. So be sure to clean up after yourself as well if you decide to visit. Here we have one of the few confusing parts of the trail. We came down to a frozen stream and didn't know exactly where to go. Luckily, we saw some footprints going up the hill, and when we checked all trails, it was the right way to go. A little further into the trail, we ran into an almost V-sized hoodoo. So you know that we had to stop for a super quick photo op. As difficult as the snow and mud made this trail, it definitely did make it a lot more beautiful. It added a lot of contrast to the surroundings, and it really brought out the vibrant colors of the rocks.
All right, so we are about a little bit over 1.5 miles into the hike, and we've come to another junction. As you can see here, if you go straight, which is technically left, you'll stay on the Panorama Trail. And if you go to the right, you're going to the Secret Passage.
I think it's a slot canyon. We haven't been here yet, but I'm pretty sure it's a slot canyon. It's a short loop, so it's actually looped back to the main trail. So we're gonna go check it out.
Woo! Let's go see what the secret's all about.
Taking the fork to the Secret Passage Trail will add 0.3 of a mile to the overall distance of your hike. This little side trail isn't anywhere near as maintained as the Panorama Trail, and some people might actually find it kind of difficult. However, if you do find small trails and scrambling fun, this will definitely be for you. And here we are at the Secret Passage. I'm not gonna lie, it's nothing mind-blowing. But if you have enough daylight, I would still make my way over here and check this out. From there, we came to another spot that some people might consider a little bit confusing. The trail gets a little bit faint and heads behind some bushes before it makes its way around two big rock formations that look like upside down funnels. I thought that you had to climb up on this slab to get around, but it turns out that you can just make your way between the slab and the two funnels. In our opinion, the next part is what should have been known as the secret passage. Here you will find a narrow but very short slot canyon. At the time of the recording of this video, there was a lot of water in it and you really had to do your best to hug the wall so you didn't get your feet wet. After that, we were back on the Panorama Trail and headed to our next junction, which is just a couple hundred yards down the trail.
We've reached yet another junction, and this one, if you go, I guess you would call it straight or to the right of the fork, you will go to the 𝐶𝐻, or if you stay on the left trail, you're going to go back on the Panorama Trail. Unfortunately, we are running a little bit short on time for the day, so we are going to have to miss out on the 𝐶𝐻 and head straight towards Panorama Point. I wish we had time. We'll have to hit it next time.
Since it's winter, we don't have a lot of sunlight, so it's a little short. And we're from Southern California, so we're not used to the cold, especially when the sun goes down.
Yeah. As soon as that sun goes down, you're dropping, it feels like 20 degrees, and we aren't built for that. So next time, 𝐶𝐻, next time.
When we got back to our hotel room after this hike, we researched the cool caves, and I'll be honest, it's nothing life-altering. It's just pretty much another cave. But that being said, if we hike this trail again, I would definitely like to leave enough time to go see it. Going to the 𝐶𝐻 will add 2.3 miles to your hike.
We came upon a super cool rock formation. If you see it, I think I don't know if there's a name for it at the park, but we're gonna name it Poodle Rock. So if you see it, that is Poodle Rock. Doesn't it look like a poodle? Yeah, maybe.
With Poodle Rock in the rearview mirror, we headed off to the next viewpoint, which looks out over the largest spire in the entire park.
The trail is pretty muddy at this point, but we have come to another, looks like short side trail to an overlook. Mammoth Overlook.
Mammoth Spire's overlook.
Mammoth Spire Overlook.
I couldn't find any information on exactly how tall Mammoth Spire is, but let's just say it is one big ol' rock.
As you can see, the trail marker is right about there. Sorry for the big old Godzilla finger, but we are right here, and the Mammoth Spire, I believe, is this giant rock out here. So it's only, what would you say, 25, 30 yards off the trail. Beautiful lookout over the canyon. Totally worth it. At this point, it appears that we are going slightly uphill, and when you mix that with snow, a little more tiring. The viewers would like to know, what do you think about this hill?
It's okay. It's not that bad, but the snow make it a lot harder.
It's not that bad, but the snow makes it a lot harder. Riveting report. Back to you. And she said it wasn't that bad. I give that snow angel a 2 out of 10.
And now we're at another side. If you go straight, you're gonna go to, has to say, Panorama Point. That's a really cool viewpoint. Or if you go left, you'll get back to the trailhead. So we're gonna go right this way. So the straight right to Panorama Point, just for take a look.
From the junction, you are a little bit over 3/10 of a mile from the views of Panorama Point. But this is not going to be an easy 3/10 of a mile, especially if you're visiting in the snow like we are. The vast majority of it is going to be spent climbing steep hills. The hills that were covered in snow weren't all that bad, but we had some super muddy ones coming up. And if it wasn't for our spikes, I don't know if we would have been able to get up to the top. If you've ever wondered just how fast V's tiny little legs can go, prepare yourself because you're about to see some cheetah-like speed as she makes her way up to the top of this hill. I wish that I could say that we were done climbing at this point, but we weren't. On the bright side though, the rest of the climbs up to Panorama Point are nowhere near as difficult.
So we usually try to fix these trail signs when we see them tipped over. Unfortunately, this one is going to be a little bit difficult to fix, but Panorama Point, we made it, we survived.
It's definitely no mystery figuring out where Panorama Point got its name from, because at the top you get 360-degree views of Kodachrome Basin State Park.
As you can see, the views from up here are pretty spectacular, but the sun is getting closer to the horizon and the temperature is already starting to drop, so we are going to try to get back to the car before it gets down to sunset time, because it's gonna get cold.
Yeah, we're not used to the snow temperature.
Yeah, so time to hustle.
The clock was ticking and we were still 1.3 miles away from the warmth of the Jeep. We had made our way to the top of the muddy hills without falling over, but now the challenge was going to be making it back down without getting red stains all over our fancy cool pants. The good thing is that since we did the side of the loop with all of the viewpoints first, there shouldn't be too much to look at and slow us down as we raced our way back to the trailhead. This portion of the trail dips and rises over some hills, but there aren't too many junctions to get you confused and lost. In fact, I'm pretty sure that the only junction that we saw was this wash right here, and you just go straight across it and climb up the hill on the other side. Off to the left, we were starting to get glimpses of familiar landmarks like Ballerina Spire. And once we saw the Fred Flintstone Spire appear on the right side, we were pretty optimistic that we were going to make it back to the car before sunset. As you reach this junction, you're going to be making a right to head back towards the trailhead. One of the coolest things about the Panorama Trail is that with all of its side trails, you can pretty much customize it to be between 3 miles all the way up to 7.2 miles long. That makes this trail accessible to most skill and fitness levels. After crossing one more frozen stream, we had made it, and with very little time to spare.
We made it.
We made it. We're back maybe 20 feet
You can
from
see the car over that way.
from the trailhead. The sun is setting. It's beautiful right now.
We probably could not have cut it much closer.
Yeah. The trail was really pretty. It's definitely a lot more challenging with the snows and the mud.
Definitely.
The mud was very, very slippery and very soft. So like, it felt like quicksand.
Yeah.
Some spot.
Yeah, it was pretty messy, and then your shoes weigh a lot, so that made it a little bit more challenging as well. And
we probably would want to come back here and do it in the summer or like when there's no snow, because it's probably a lot easier.
yeah, it's getting really cold now. Your nose is dripping a little bit. Here, I got you.
I'm gonna make icicle with my nose, just little icicle. Yeah.
But yeah, so between this trail and we did
the Angel's Palace Trail.
Palace Trail.
That the other one's hands down. So if you have only one trails to do the other one.
Yeah.
We love the other one. It's shorter but it has more. The view is just better.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I'm glad that we did this one though. Like it was a beautiful hike, no doubt, and I like all the. There's a bunch of like labeled waypoint, oh, look at this, oh, look at that over there. There wasn't really any labeled viewpoints. It's just everything's beautiful.
Yeah, there's no specific thing. It's just like the whole trail is just beautiful. So if you have one trail, do
that one. And if did we have a card for that?
We're not talking about things on this one because this is the video about the Panorama trail.
Yeah, right.
Do this one if you want a long hike. This is beautiful too. So
we are gonna try to get to the car because it's about to get freezing cold out here.
Yeah,
so if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and boop that like button. Let us know that you like it and you want to see more like it. And
if you have any suggestions, any comments, leave them below. Let us know.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys in the next video.
Shaka. See you later. Bye.